Howdy guys, how's it going? So we are looking at the over-taped blueprint for the good old Pelington sniper rifle here in Black Ops Cold War. So now with this in here, you get it at a tier 89. It is a legendary blueprint, which means we got 5 attachments on here. And overall, I do gotta say, I love how this blueprint looks, especially once we throw some of the mastery camos on there. We'll look at that here in a second. But something about just how like simplistic and like field made this kind of blueprint is. Like this right here really looks like something from the time period that they're going with. Like I'm sure that's meant to be some kind of tape that might be somewhat textured on the outer, like on the outer side of it. Let me just knock that water bottle over. But all in all, I mean, it looks like electrical tape, and I'm going to assume that's what it is because I don't even think back then, even though this is an alternate universe that we got here in Cold War, I don't think they had double-sided tape of any kind, especially textured back then. So I'm going to assume this is electrical tape, but just the raised texture of having electrical tape on something, especially if you have an extremely sanded down smooth wooden stock, could help you in terms of how, like, you know, just having some kind of muscle memory on what like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then 8, 9, so there's total of 9, but like the first 7, and I'm considering that because we got that second, the last 2 towards the trigger, I believe, if it was me doing it personally, is just to help hold on the very end pieces of the 2 tapes that are below the ones that are holding on the ammunition. So like, if that's confusing you, forget everything I just said. All in all, I understand what they're going for with this here blueprint, especially since they've started to integrate in all the different tapes and the different things for the rear grip. A lot of them don't exactly make sense realistically, but you know, they got to have attachments, and I'm sure they're just replicating some historical facts and things that people preferred back then, even though they didn't. They was going with what they could come up with in the moment, so that's all that matters. But with this blueprint, we got the infantry stabilizer on our muzzle, the 21.7-inch ultralight barrel. Then we got the Vandal speed loader for our magazine attachment. Then we got tactical stock and the serpent wrap on the handle. So I played a match before this because it's been lightning and thunder, and so I want to test my connection. Right now it's you know, relatively decent. And I thought up front this would be a bit of a, you know, a fast ADSer, but it's not that fast. It's not nowhere near the fastest you can make it. So this is going to be something where, you know, like I said, you see it in Warzone, by all means pick it up, run with it. You're not going to have a horrible time. But I am not a quick scoper. I'm not a huge sniper in Cold War, so like, you know, my opinion is I think it's good for what the kind of stuff I'm willing to do, but I'm not going to be dropping a nuke with this thing just because I don't use it that often. Now here's the thing, so appearance, people have been asking, and I'm more than happy to oblige with the appearance. So when you have the DM Ultra on it, it looks amazing. Diamond, I think it looks just a little bit better because you have more contrast. Gold, I don't dig it that much. Everything else, it's the same deal. The only thing that doesn't change is the fact that you have that tape wrapped around it. So since I have, like there it is, stock, DM Ultra, stock, and the stock option is very clean looking. You know, especially if you're just coming in at, you know, maybe season 2 or whatever. Rock this thing all day, every day, since I already went through the grind of getting DM Ultra. We're going to rock DM Ultra. And that doesn't change the attachments whatsoever. I'm rocking the same perks and stuff as always. You know, you can take and pause the video, look at that right meow. Got the dual 1911s for any close-up action. Now, like if you're somebody that is a just, you know, all day every day quick scoper, then, you know, technically you don't even need any good secondary because you can deal with people up close and personal unless you run out of ammunition. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your own gameplay. So I'm sorry for the long introduction on this, but I like the snipers are a very popular weapon choice, weapon category for Cold War, so I kind of figured, you know, I don't want to go in a little bit more extensively with this one. But now we're going to take and hop into a match of Nuki Town and see how we can work and, you know, how we can work out a game with this here Pelington. Woo, here we go. So we got domination, which means we're going to be spending more time with this here sniper rifle than I think we even need to. But we'll try to see what happens. Like, you know, once again, just want to preface that there is absolutely, I do not consider myself a phenomenal sniper. I'm somebody, I go for the snipes, Black Ops 1, 2, even 3. I focused up on some quick scoping, but after that I really fell out of it with, you know, Black Ops 4. We had Infinite Warfare. We had the most recent Modern Warfare, which, I mean, I did do some sniping on the last Modern Warfare, but definitely not a quick scoper. And I know that's like when you get into the hard scoping category, it gets a bit slippery, you know. It gets into kind of like the Epstein, you know. You don't want people coming to your islands. You don't want to be out here just aiming down your scope the whole time on a small map, especially like Nuketown. But it's all about, you know, what are you doing until you get caught with it. That's the main thing. So as far as Nuketown goes, I try to do more of not super hard scoping. Now, if you're on a map like Warzone or something and you get mad at quick scoping, then you're probably just raging. You feel me? Because it's like if you're on larger maps and somebody's using a sniper and you get mad for them quick scoping, then it's most likely that you're the problem and you just need to factor that into your strategy, if I'm being honest. Because there's so many more things that are way more frustrating that you can't necessarily take control of. Like, you always need to be, you know, aware of the line of sight that you're in and that you're going to be going into and looking at the map. So you got to have a lot of strategy. Now, when it comes to regular multiplayer, like we're in domination right now on Nuketown, and it's really a 3-lane map. There's A, B, C. You can look at spawns. You got the mini map. You're aware of how many people's on the other team. I got to just hit the back button. So you can't get too frustrated if somebody is, you know, rocking and rolling with certain things, but you also don't want to be the guy that's just hard scoping one lane or the other, constantly waiting for people to poke their head out of their spawn. So with that in mind, we'll roll with it. Now, the packet loss and latency has been just all over the place the past little bit. And I think it has something to do with like right now it's thundering and lightning crazy right here along with rain and wind. So the kind of internet I have, that's not supposed to affect that much, but I think it does play at the very least a small role. And, you know, a small ripple in a pond can rock a canoe. So that's kind of like what we're working with right now. I have no muscle memory for snipers whatsoever. I know how to hold myself with the ARs, the subs, pistols, anything that's relatively, you know, semi-automatic to fully automatic. Where is he at, bro? Why is he back there writing a John Hancock letter? Teammate, did you get him? I'm going to assume you got him. Something got somebody right there. That's all I know. Not to mention also, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been awake for a while. But like, I'm not here to make excuses. I'm more than happy to admit that I am in the midst of eating absolute donkey dong. Dung there, not dong. I ain't about dong. No point in my career am I about dong, but I'm about to, like, I'll eat dung. There we go. I mean, you can cook steak on dung, as in, you know, manure. So, because like any grass-fed animal eats grass, and then whenever they evacuate their bowels, it's literally just a nugget of like biological waste that, I mean, it's like, it's plant waste. So then when it dries out, you can use that garbage as fertilizer, you can use that stuff as like fuel, you can burn it, doesn't matter. Okay, but we did need to step it a little bit. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent right there in my head. So we need to start dropping a couple bodies. The 1911s, that distance was not the way to go about it. And that was spawns. So you know what, I'll give that one to that one. This blueprint is not horrible, guys, I promise. Like right now, I'm just not on my game. So, you know, if it's the first video, please watch other videos. But I'm about keeping it honest. Like, I'm more than happy. You know, I'll have games, I'll drop nukes, and there's some videos of me dropping nukes. And then there's videos of me eating just, you know, I'm just going in and getting popped, lock, and drop for multiple reasons. but the reasons don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can promise you for a fact, anybody you think is out there like doing 110, 57.5% 24/7 is lying to you. They showing you videos like, I mean, I'm all about KD. Like, I got DM Ultra. When I got DM Ultra, I had like a 0.8 KD by the end of it, and I'm already back up to like a 1.8. So do the math, brothers. The problem is like when you out here dropping commentaries on top of trying to focus and just getting sips of anything under the sun, it sucks, you know, it kills brain cells while you're doing it. So you got to take and have some kind of like grounding factor before you go in and start blaming yourself for a poor performance. So we're at the bottom of the leaderboard, 6 and 11, and we will bring her back right quick, fast, in a hurry. But this here Pelington, which is a Remington 700, they should be firing a 308 Remington, is a weapon that was definitely used around this time period. Like, the time period thing's a little bit tricky because, like, we know what time period it is based on, like, the campaign and what's going on. But because of the things they've done in the past for this time period, and because of the zombie storyline, which is tied into the campaign and everything else, we know that it's an alternate universe. So that makes things a wee bit tricky. But the Remington 700 has been, like, you know, just one of the go-to sniper rifles. I mean, like, it's still kind of, like, it's not one of the main use things, I would say, depending on, like, what kind of environment you're in. Like, I don't want to say anything about, like, the, you know, like, Afghanistan and all the desert warfare, because, like, I've definitely heard of it being used and know of it being used, but it's nowhere near being, like, a main thing, especially since you had, like, the main Barrett 50 cal come out and get introduced into that war, like, war time zone, time frame. There we go, time frame. And then, like, the 338 Lapua and all that other good old stuff. So, the Remington 700 is something that I would like, I've been wanting to do a build of it, but just because of the, like, the political spectrum and everything else over the past bit and everything else that I was doing, I'm not going to overpay for something that is relatively simple. But I definitely want to do a Remington 700 rifle build for some long-range shooting. Where I live, like, the longest ranges that you can like find places to shoot, like, safely is about 700 yards. And I know that in, like, you know, like in western states where it's very flat, you can find places, and like with the Remington 700 at 308, over like 1,100 yards is kind of its, like, max range, like effective range, but people have pushed it further. This video has nothing to do with performance. I'm just out. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna keep dying, to be honest. I'm just gonna go with it. But if anything, we get to talk about the gun, because, like, I mean, most people ain't even really that interested in the blueprints anyways, aside from, you know, people that might be new to it. But if anything, you know, use it to your advantage. Then take titties in my toaster, brothers. What is happening right there? Could have swore that crosshair was on him. But, you know, it's you gotta try to decide what is going to work best for your gaming situation. Please. Yes, there it is. I'm glad that got one on there. I know there's two over there, but I'm more than happy to take one of them out of the way. If anything, we're out. Oh, we only got 2 objectives. Don't look at the objectives. We've contributed to our overall win in the event they don't come back and just completely crush us. I just say how long this video's been, considering the fact that, like, this was not meant to be a legitimate. Not that it's meant that it wasn't meant to be a legitimate video, but it wasn't meant to be a you know, like, some people will see this as like my first video or something, and they'll be like, well, this guy sucks monkey nuts at Call of Duty and doesn't take it serious. But that is not the case. Take it very seriously, but it's just a blueprint in Season 2, and Season 2 is going to be over in not long at all. So definitely take and just, make sure you subscribe and check out other videos, because every now and then I like to throw in some Hail Marys, which is what this would be, because can't see half past sideways, so that ties into the end accuracy aspect of it. But I'm more than like there's a huge part of me that would prefer to show poor performance over extraordinary performance, just because I feel like if I was somebody that felt like I needed to show, even if like my overall performance is fine, like it's way better than average, but if I felt like somebody that felt like obligated to show that all the time, then I wouldn't enjoy doing this, and that's the thing that I want to avoid overall. It's like I can go back to BO3 when I didn't do any camos and was doing like competitive matches like GBs, UMGs, and matches for money, and my KD on there is like 3.8, but it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I'm in a situation where I need to like focus up and play and drop bodies, and that like it's just about the strategy, that's all I'm gonna focus on, then I can definitely do that, and I'm not going to be focused on articulating any kind of commentary. So my biggest problem back when I was doing competitive matches is I'd be playing with my teammates and I wouldn't talk, because like every ounce of my like I would just be focused on the gameplay, period. And eventually I got to where I could easily articulate call outs and everything else and still do great, but there's no way that I could do my commentary in the way that I'm doing this as an individual and still, you know what I mean? So all that's besides the point. Anyways, guys, look, I appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, share your friends, and until the next one, adios.